Mike says she has a sexy confidence.
I liked Anna quite a bit.
Anna.
What up, fuckers? Welcome to another episode of Guys We Fucked.
It's the Anti-Slut Shaming Podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Hey, stop right now.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Thank you very much.
And you're going to think about whether or not you watched our special. If you can't remember, then you're going to need to watch it again.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's also a really bad review for us, but
yeah,
that's fine.
But we'll take it. We'll take the extra view if it makes you feel bad enough to watch it again.
It's called Our Special Day. It's on our YouTube, which you should be subscribed to anyway, because there's a shitload of free content on there. And it's youtube.com/guyswefucked without the U and fucked. You're going to leave a comment if you haven't. You're going to subscribe to the channel. You're going to maybe recommend it to a friend. Again, you guys said, hey, you know what? We'd prefer not to pay for all the stuff that you make. And we said,
ouch, but okay.
We hear you. We don't agree,
no,
but we hear you. We put it there, so then you're gonna need to do something else.
Yep.
Okay? Nothing in life is truly free.
Nope. It all costs something. Your integrity, your dollars, your energy.
Exactly. We
Welcome to the
appreciate
show.
anyone who has watched it already. And there are a lot of nice comments. Also, a lot of nice reviews. A lot of nice reviews on Apple, I've noticed.
Oh.
Every Friday when we go through this spiel, it's nice to know that unlike boyfriends, people are listening.
Yeah.
You know? So that's good.
That's a plus about not having a boyfriend. There's no one to not listen to you. So
Right.
you're like, okay, I'm fine. I'm just starting at zero the way the Lord intended.
Yeah, I gotta thank the fuckers. You guys really do, for the most part, retain information.
Yeah.
And not surprisingly, you're women, so you're good at following instructions, which is lovely for this show. I would say in life, maybe follow less instructions.
Right. You don't have to be by the book exactly.
But yeah, thank you so much for doing it for us.
We appreciate it. And if you are a musician, or if you know somebody who's a musician and wants to submit their music to Guys We Fucked, all the music that you hear in between the interviews and the guests and the intro are from our listeners. They're listener submitted. So head on over to your mail app, your email app, and send streaming links to gwfpodcastmusic@gmail.com, and Mike Big Don Coscarelli will take it from there.
And also, please send MP3s.
Yes.
I need streaming links and
MP3s. Okay, wow.
Something that I can use
right
in Adobe Audition.
Okay.
And also, don't send the guy you've been dating for 2 weeks his song. I will find out and we will rip it from the episode. Thank you. It's like, how many times do we have to go over the same fucking lesson?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. A lot more than you think. All right. If you want to email us, it's sorryboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. There's not a subject line for the day. There's just an email, and we'll take it. Greetings from Australia. Fangirl from down under here, so I apologize if I use language that makes no sense. I've been a listener since September 2020. I'm very late to your podcast and Comic Genius, but it couldn't have come at a better time for me because my first few episodes coincided with my partner of 22 years leaving me for the local checkout chick who is several years older than us both and has 9 children.
Is this a real email?
Wow. No shame to cougars and large families, but it was a bit of a blow to my ego to find out that her circumstances were more appealing than mine. So yeah, their eyes met across the conveyor belt of a checkout area, and it was obviously love at first scan. As a friend tried to reassure me, he'd simply found the last plastic bag in our state, and that was still legal to use. I'm not sure to what degree they were involved before our separation, but it's not a great sign that their 1-year anniversary was a week to the day that he ended our relationship.
No.
I know this because despite blocking him, my fingers sometimes type his name out of their own accord and take me back to his page anyway, which is a strange phenomenon that Krystyna has stated happened to her before too, Winky. Long story short, I felt blindsided. We weren't without our challenges, but none that I considered deal breakers. And in fact, I thought that we were lucky to have such a warm, comfortable companionship after all that time. And yes, we still had sex regularly. I felt some of his reasoning was justified, but most of it unfair and hypocritical. It was a fairly straightforward separation with little animosity, although that was mostly because I worked hard to keep my feelings to myself, because expressing them would have simply made things harder, and it was unbearably hard already.
Yeah, it's always good to let your guy easily go and fuck someone else.
Hell yeah. I did, however, have one moment to rejoice, and that is because of you fucking legends. My former partner came to collect the last of his things from his man cave, mostly collectibles that I'd purchased as gifts for him over the years. I watched him callously throw gift after gift in the bin, and even the coasters that my 8-year-old niece had made for him. Yeah, of course he's not going to want them, but the way he tossed them away thoughtlessly stung a bit. Anyway, during this process, he put 2 stuffed toys to the side. I assumed that they were for his dog, who, by the way, is now my dog because he didn't want him, something I never thought he'd do. And the moment I realized I didn't know this person anymore.
Jesus.
As it turned out, they weren't for his dogs, but for his new girlfriend's children. Oh boy. His exact words were, "Nah, I'm taking them for the kids because they'll enjoy them." Of course, I broke down, and he didn't see what the problem was. It was at this point that I remembered something you girls had been talking about on an episode, that there's always a, quote, right time for petty pranks. And the specific occasion you were talking about had something to do with poop. Oh, I remember that one well. My former partner and I had always had an issue with cats, so while he was distracted, I ferreted around in their litter tray and placed a fresh but relatively solid poop in a tissue. I then waited for him by his car, pretending to help him put his belongings in the boot, and when he walked away, I rolled that cat shit right underneath his back seat. The satisfaction received from that petty prank was unbelievable, and it fills me with joy every time I think about it. It gets pretty hot in Australia, in the Australian city that I live in, and I remember one of my friends saying that she never wanted 3 days straight of 40 degrees Celsius, which is 104 Fahrenheit, weather more in her life. Hoping you girls find that story amusing too and are proud of yourselves for influencing this fucker to exact some perfectly petty prank revenge. Also,
I also hope it happened a while ago. I don't know what the statute of limitations are on like poop in a car, but I feel like you're outing yourself now.
you can't do that? Well, I mean,
You can't.
I doubt he listens to this show.
Wipe shit in someone's car. No, that is illegal.
That's illegal.
You don't know the laws in Australia.
In America, you definitely could get. You're damaging property. Absolutely.
Yes, in
Also,
America, you can't do that. No.
While I'm at it, I figured I'd ask a question. Since the end of my relationship, I've continued to shop at the same grocery store as the checkout chick. It's a local chain store. I don't go to multinationals that I've been shopping at for about over 10 years along with the rest of my family. So side note, this checkout chick would have been well aware of my former partner's relationship status. I still go there because it's the closest location with all of the products that I want. The other 2 stores nearby only have part of what I normally shop for, meaning I have to do a second trip elsewhere. I'm served by her regularly, and we're very cordial with each other, almost as if there's, quote, nothing to see here. Do you think I should be doing this? On one hand, I explain to people that I still go there because I refuse to be inconvenienced by her any further. And it genuinely is a pain in the arse shopping elsewhere, but I do feel uncomfortable being there despite not showing it outwardly.
No shit.
On the other hand, literally, pun intended. On the other hand, I wonder if I do it sadistically as some measure of control over her. Well, that's not a good option. And surely that can't be good for me, right? As another one of my friends argued in regards to that, she'll just have to deal with it because that's what happens when you shit where you eat. Would appreciate knowing your thoughts to help me decide whether to keep shopping there or not. Thank you both for being who you are and for your fucking awesome podcast. Your influence is immeasurably beneficial to womanhood. Huge love.
Okay, I mean, so obviously, the paragraph where you convince yourself the reasons that you're shopping at this store still was unnecessary. You can delete that in the revision of this email. But I mean, your reason for doing it, there's a lot of talk in here about like making this transition easy for your ex-partner. When in reality, I mean, I hope that you truly are making it easy for yourself, but like I feel like sometimes women make it easy because they don't want to make a stink. And like I say, keep going there for the wrong reasons. Why are you making this so easy for them? Fucking ruin their life, burn down their house. Sorry, Chad. I just think about it. Don't actually
illegal.
Do it.
That's illegal.
The car thing is also illegal.
The car thing's illegal for
I love
sure.
that Krystyna was shocked about poop in the car. You cannot do that to someone's car. You can't. The inside for sure. That's like a big crime.
Yeah, it's illegal.
It's a high ticket item, you know?
Mm-hmm. Can't do that.
I didn't say anything about the outside. The inside, though.
The outside too. You can't smear shit on somebody's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I as somebody who is taken by her anger, I would stay away because I know me, but you know you. That's the beauty of you being you. So you gotta I would that to me is asking for more trouble in my life, in my emotional life. I would just move on. I would probably just move. But you have kids, so you got to consider your children as well.
She has kids too.
Yeah, I thought they had kids.
I mean, listen.
Oh no, the other woman has 3 kids.
The thing is, I'm sure it's lovely and very like Sound of Music to go into this new family with 9 kids. But there is no way having 9 children, especially ones that aren't yours, is going to be fun in any way. This guy's life is going to be a fucking nightmare. Yeah. And they're working on I don't know what he does for a living, but half the team is bringing in wages from a grocery store job. No shade, but that's not. I don't even know how they're supporting 9 children. Like, that's going to be a very stressful situation for him. However, I do agree. I mean, listen, it depends how much you're hurting. Sometimes like lashing out at someone else can make you feel better. None of these things that I'm suggesting are healthy, but like to suggest that someone is just going to healthily float away from a 22-year relationship that you were blindsided by him starting a whole new life with a whole new fucking family is not even like human to ask of yourself. Mm-hmm. So I say fucking lean in. Why don't you wear a shirt? Like, do you have one of those like graphic tees that you get at like a carnival with him?
Yeah.
And you on it together? Wear that to the supermarket and check out with her. Wait for her line.
Yeah.
I mean, I would make it so fucking impossible for them to continue.
I would do a graphic that's a family tree for her, for all of her kids. Do some ancestry.com type graphics.
A different shirt for a different kid every single day.
Yeah, you can buy a shirt for all 9 children and say, my new daddy is a dickhead. Or something. I don't know.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, the reason you're not, I mean, you could find another supermarket. It's a supermarket. And I mean, it doesn't have the things you shop for. I don't know, change the brand. I mean, that's a silly reason. But what's not a silly reason is for making this woman look at your face every day. The real person we should be punishing is him. But also, she's not in the clear here. She knows what the fuck she did, and she knows who you are, and she's seen your fucking Instagram. And everyone can play these games all the live long day. But it's, I mean, you guys must be not to be rude, but if you were in a 22-year relationship, you're all pretty old to be acting like this. So.
Also, I mean, she had mentioned too about feeling like she has a level of control over this woman that's working.
Right.
But that woman entered this situation understanding the consequences of what could possibly happen.
And you want the control over this woman because you didn't have the control in your marriage when it ended. So it makes sense. But swapping it out, it's not going to be good for your soul. You know what I mean? If you want to nurture yourself truly, you fucking, just pay attention to how it makes you feel. That's all I'm saying. And come see us live. London, I'm going to be at the Leicester Square Theatre May 12th. And Dublin, I'm going to be at the Sugarland Club May 13th. KrystynaHutchinson.com for tickets. And I have a solo podcast called The Voices in Our Heads, where I do brand new episodes are available only on patreon.com/KrystynaHutchinson. And I'm doing this new thing where I'm doing Zoom therapy for anybody who is a patron of my Patreon. And I did it while I was on the road in Maryland. And it fucking was fantastic. I was like, God damn, being exposed to other people's stories is a really healing thing. And it's just nice to just hear other people talk. I really enjoy the adult children of alcoholic and dysfunctional families meetings in New York City, but you can't comment on anything anybody else says, and you can't really like share information. You just got to share for 2 minutes and then you shut the fuck up. But these meetings are way more enjoyable because then I could, we could chime in and give suggestions. So, patreon.com/KrystynaHutchinson. I'll see you there.
And then Fort Collins, Colorado, I will be at the Comedy Fort April 15th and 16th for 2 shows each night. That's going to be super fun. Someone wrote me and said, it's not a suburb of Denver. It's an hour outside. And I said, yeah, I have to fly into Denver, so it's part of Denver. Thank you. I know you're trying to be your own place. No, never heard of it before I was going. And if that makes people mad, oh well, do something. Light something on fire.
Don't have a shooting though,
so that you put yourself on the map a little bit more. Even Boulder, I had heard of because there's a lot of fucked up shit that happened there. Okay,
shooting, right?
College.
So put your place on the map. There's a lot of competing things in Colorado.
Well, you're going there.
That's actually a bad sign. And then Without a Country is my podcast with Shane Smith. That's every Saturday, wherever you can listen to podcasts. It's a news show. It's on YouTube. It's really good. it's a little bit serious, but it's also a lot bit comedy. So you're going to get real information. It's not like the fucking Onion. You're getting real news, but we'll make it more digestible for you. So again, enjoy that. And rate and review Guys We Fucked on Apple Podcasts. You've been doing such a great job with that. That really does help. It keeps us on the charts. And it's just nice to read what you are taking from the podcast these days, because obviously it's been through many iterations throughout its lifetime. To go to youtube.com/guys we fucked without the U in fuck to watch sorry, I'm going through puberty. To watch the Dumb Bitch Woo Woo Hour, to watch old episodes of Did That Help? We're going to have podcast clips. There's the special. There's just so much content there. So you want to hit subscribe on that. And then definitely go to TikTok as well. It's at Guys We Fucked without the U in fucked. A lot going on TikTok. A lot of great clips. A lot of traction. You're missing out. If you're not there, you're missing out.
Yeah. 3 million views on one of those videos and counting. So, yeah. How are you?
I'm all right. I've been watching a lot of ASMR. I'm very into ASMR videos that I've been spending a lot of time on TikTok, working on our TikTok, and I am obsessed with ASMR. I definitely have all the whatever, like the triggers. I have them all.
Tingle?
I love everything. I love when, I already knew. I love when people brush my hair. I love when people do my makeup. I love watching people wash dishes or do stuff like organize things. All of that stuff, very calming.
Do they organize and they talk at a low voice?
No. The organizing is just like things I knew in real life that I knew I would like ASMR. No, they're at the mic. So it's a lot of whispering certain words like toasted coconut. And I fucking love it. And it's wild because it's like kind of monotonous if you were just coming into it cold, but I will watch it for 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
And it's just wow. It's just
wow.
Yeah.
And then they'll put slime on the microphone.
Wow. It's like when people listen to rain sounds, but it's like people folding laundry.
And it's weird because there's so many. You'll just go on live on Instagram and on TikTok, and you'll scroll, and there's 1,000 people doing this. 1,000 wannabe ASMR artists. It's a big market. Some of these people have a lot of followers, and I would you would think they're all same caliber. They're not. You can be really good at ASMR or you can be fucking horrible at ASMR.
Like OnlyFans or something.
Yeah, there's some people are making
being bad at OnlyFans. Oh man,
they're out there.
That's sad. Of course. Some people are making it too ASMR too sexual. That's one thing that is because it is scratching the same itch as something erotic a little bit, but it shouldn't be actually making you horny, And so some people are there with who are just so hot, a lot of Russian hot babes with their tits out. And that's lovely for you, but that's to me not exactly what ASMR is, and certainly not what I'm interested in watching.
Right.
But on the flip side, I can't watch ugly people do ASMR. That's for sure.
Wow.
That's just, and I also don't like when men do it. It's not even though I am straight,
it feels like molestery.
Yeah.
When a guy whispers.
There's this one guy in Hawaii with long hair who has a bit of an androgynous look, and I'm okay with him because I think he's really in it for the art. Yeah. But also men's voices, when whispered, it feels like a crime.
Yeah, it feels like they're putting their finger somewhere it doesn't belong.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then there's some girls who are I noticed if you're too American, it also doesn't work. There's this one girl who looks like she's a model at Hollister.
I thought you could say Hallmark, but that's also bad.
And she's pretty good at it. But it's not, it just doesn't hit. It feels comical.
Why? Is it too wholesome?
It's it's the American accent is too no, it's not wholesome. It feels like she's trying to be on an influencer.
She's trying too hard.
Is it vocal
that's
fry?
The American way.
No, not I'm not against vocal fry. That's part of the patriarchy being against vocal fry. Michael, and obviously you knew that already and you just slipped up. But yeah, no, it's just more of she sounds bored, even though I don't believe her to be bored.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And she doesn't look like she truly loves the art form. My favorite woman, Leilani, shout out.
That's a good name.
She is, I believe she said she's married. She has a 5-year-old kid. I don't know much. I know too much about her life. I think she might live in Colorado.
Fort Collins?
Her sister's a photographer.
You know a lot about the channel.
And she is relatively new to ASMR, but she is a gift.
Wow. What about it is
She
so
is a
good?
gift. She just knows. She knows like the right things to do. So some people I think get bored or like they don't mix it up enough. Some people talk too much because I mean everyone's talking at the same everyone's talking at the same tone. But some people, she says all her words with purpose. So I noticed like, even if she's whispering, she'll still go hard on some of the letters.
Okay, so she's still like
So she'll be like,
emphasize.
"Thank you for the hand art," and I'm like, "That's like so to speak with that much purpose on everything, so that even like when you're saying thank you for a gift on TikTok, it's ASMR. Like that really is something,
Right.
That's she's just very good, and also, I mean, I'm sure because she's newer at it. She's studied it, but hasn't grown tired of it yet. Because I don't know how this woman does this. She's on every night for like 4 to 5 hours doing this.
Wow.
Tapping. She's been having some back issues. I'm rooting for her.
Hope she gets better.
But yeah, I like love it. But the problem is it's something that is soothing, but like it's not like a massage where you're like, all right, I'm done, I'm good. Like I could just watch it endlessly. So I'm like, well, that's the problem with something that's soothing, but it's like endlessly soothing.
Puts you in a trance.
You're just like, okay, well, when can I stop doing this? Like when has this done enough? So, and I mean, I think a lot of things are like that. Like a lot of people become addicted to stuff. Like I was thinking of like, becoming like addicted to therapy because my therapist, she had a baby, so she's on maternity leave right now. And I was like, fuck, right? Literally, I really haven't needed you that badly for like years. And then actually, when I do need you, of course, you had to go and fucking get knocked up.
Women.
But it wasn't, she wasn't planning it either, honestly. So, I mean, she's engaged in stuff. She just, long story. You don't need to know my therapist's story, but she has an autoimmune disease and she didn't think that she could get pregnant.
Oh,
so
so you want to keep it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's engaged. Sorry, I just fucked up the mic, but she's engaged. That was the ghost of my therapist. Can you hear that? It's all fucked up in my thing. Okay. And so she, but then I was like, fuck. Cause at that point I was like a little addicted to therapy and I was like fiending for it every week. And I was like, I gotta get in that chair. The chair's my bed. I gotta get in that chair. I gotta tell Kier what's up. And then I realized I was like, oh, it's actually really good. I think right now that she went on a hiatus because I need to unchain myself from therapy so I can float through free in the world and take a couple weeks or 6 to 8 weeks to get through this on my own. And then because I really was starting to like feel addicted to it. And anytime I start to feel addicted to something, I got to let it go. That's the rule I've set for myself in my life.
Yeah.
So it is a hard rule to follow, but it's a good rule. It includes Diet Coke, my number one nemesis, but also my number one friend. So then I was just like, okay, because like she gave me the name of other therapists, obviously, to like care for me while I'm gone, but I don't need to start that.
Yeah,
shit.
then you got to start all over with them.
I was like, the only thing worse than not having a therapist right now is having to tell someone my whole fucking life story again.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh my god, I'm not
just
doing
hand them a flash drive with all these episodes, and then they'll
be like, you get it.
8 weeks of
my
catch-up.
therapist isn't allowed to listen to the podcast, and she's been very good at that. Very good at that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She wants to so badly, I can tell, but she said,
Well,
I'm
that's
not
good.
doing
That's
it.
good that she's respecting your boundaries.
Not doing it.
That's awesome. Good.
It was actually her idea. She was like, do you want me to or do you not? Like she asked me.
That's
And
good.
and I was like, no, but I was like, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Yeah. Oh, nothing. I did have a woman break into the dressing room of the comedy
yes, you
club.
told me.
That's happened a couple times.
What?
To us, and it
Happens all the time, Michael.
scares the
Yes.
shit out of me. And I posted about it on my stories afterwards because I was like, hey, just FYI, like that's not, cool. And what I'm actually thinking in my head is, are you about to kill me? Because that's a weird fucking move to just burst into someone's fucking dressing. Like that's weird. And then she had replied to me and she was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it made you that uncomfortable. I just wanted to be friends. And I was like,
What? That's even a crazier reply. I just wanted to be friends.
so I just want to say, guys, watch out for your mental health. You know what I mean? And if you make people feel uncomfortable, listen to that and go, okay, analyze it, interrogate yourself, figure out why, But that was a little weird. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to raise myself. That's what I'm in the middle of doing. I actually took a break from therapy because it was being too much. I can't. It's this fine line between not thinking about yourself all the time and then thinking about yourself all the time. It's very, I feel like I'm a fawn trying to figure out how to walk.
Well, I think that's a lot of the problem in the world right now. Whenever we just came off of a long period of thinking about ourselves for literally nonstop every day.
Yeah,
and
it's exhausting.
You could sense it like in the people around you. So even people who had a good time during quarantine, the people who didn't are ruining that time for us. And I think, I sense it. Like, I mean, even we're joking, kind of around, but like even with like the Will Smith slap last night, this will come out in a couple weeks, but we're fresh off the Will Smith slap.
Yeah, it just happened yesterday.
Like that kind of stuff, that kind of thing is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
And not just in Hollywood. So I really can't, I love to blame things on Hollywood. It's one of my favorite pastimes, in fact. But
Hollywood is the trouble, for a lot of things.
Yeah. And I mean, part of the reason I think that it's a group of people who are troubled because it's a group of people who are under a microscope. So
And who get yesed all goddamn day.
yeah. So for the first time, we were all under a microscope, even though the microscope was our own microscope. That is arguably the worst microscope to be under for some people.
Yeah.
So everyone's behavior has been like just absolutely erratic. Like I have to leave places early quite often now.
Wow.
Because people, like I was at a birthday party on Saturday night. And for someone I love, I wanted to go. It was also like near my house, so thanks for making it convenient. But and I went with people I wanted to go, and it was for someone I wanted to go and celebrate. And no one was even doing anything outrageous, but just like people don't even know the appropriate amount of space to leave between you and your face. They don't know things to say. People are coming back to me. The people were on mushrooms who just kind of took it without thinking about it.
Wow.
And I'm like, guys, just
do that in the woods, man.
have any kind of fucking control over yourself would be so great.
That's what it is. It's control over your feelings and your emotions and how to gain that and what to do with it. I feel like people our efficacy is dwindling. And so I'm just on a mission to find mine. So yeah, that's how I'm doing. How's our guest doing? Well, you're about to find out. She's a comedian, actor, host of HQ Trivia and the Unemployed podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Guys We Fucked, Anna Roisman. Jeez. All right, you ready? We are here with Anna Roisman. So excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I thought you were dating somebody else this whole time.
I know.
Got some clarification. That always helps.
Yeah,
I get things mixed up a lot. But happy to have you here.
Thank you.
I never met your boyfriend then.
I guess not.
And you did.
Well, I mean, I know him through a friend too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think you knew him before we knew each other.
Yeah, because I was like, I knew him through a guy I fucked.
There you go. There you go.
So I was already on the inside.
It was Jared's old roommate back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I just talked to that roommate a while, out of nowhere. You know what? A lot of people, a lot of DMs from people I hadn't talked to in a while when our Fox show was announced. That's what happened.
Congrats, by the way.
Everyone has to re-up the friendship. They have to go, just in case.
Congratulations.
And that's not him at all. I love the roommate.
No, he was definitely happy for you.
No, I love him. And it was funny because he's still has his industry friends. So he had heard through the industry and I was like, nice, let them know.
Yeah.
Let everybody know. Anyway, that's about us. This is about you and your vagina and its travels.
Yeah, where's your vagina traveled?
Well, it's traveled not very far actually. Come
Okay.
on. She's mostly an East Coaster.
Okay.
I'd say, we're not
Born and raised.
bi-coastal yet, but we're working on it.
Cute.
You know what I mean?
When I think about you, I feel like in the time I've known you for a while now.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've had 2 very long-term boyfriends and that's it. So I feel like you're you're a good girl, but your personality doesn't read good girl, but your relationship status reads good girl. So how do you think of yourself?
Thank you. I think I was always a good girl. I was scared of boys growing up.
Yeah.
And then you're right. In college, I started dating my boyfriend who I then dated for 8 years.
So that was the first one I met?
Almost. You met him probably back in the day.
8 years.
Back
Wow.
we broke up. Oh my God, we broke up at least now 8 years ago.
Yeah, that makes sense though on a timeline.
Yeah.
Were you ever engaged to him? Oh, okay.
Did you talk about it?
Yeah, we talked about it. And we had the dog together. So Bobby Flay, my dog, it famously had a first father. And
Wow.
And now-
and then you didn't split custody, huh?
no, well, he moved. So he went to another state.
That was easy.
easy.
He didn't want to take the dog.
He wasn't. It wasn't even a question.
Okay.
It was just it was my dog. It was
Okay.
He's leaving. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. Was that a messy breakup or was it amicable or was
It was
it?
a messy breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Because
dragged
one of you
on
didn't want
forever.
to do it.
here's the thing. I went to college thinking I'm going to be so slutty. Like I was so good in high school. I'm just going to hook up with everyone.
Yeah.
And freshman year, I was.
Nice.
And it was fucking awesome. I dated this guy who was the captain. I went to school in Boston. I went to BU. And I play tennis, and I taught tennis over the summer, and a guy who I taught with was the captain of the Harvard tennis team. And I was like, she looks good. That looks real. He's like, when you get to BU, like hit me up. And I hit him up, and like literally the first weekend of school, he's like, bring some friends. We went to like the tennis team party, and we started hooking up. I like smoked a cigarette with him. I was like,
you bad girl.
I'm bad now. Yeah. And the sex was pretty boring. Like, I don't even remember it. You know what I mean? We were all so drunk, but it was like...
Drunk sex in your 20s is
No, but I felt cool, like, going back to BU, being like the next morning, I'm like, I was at Harvard for the night, you know, just fucking Harvard guys.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so cool.
It's funny. I imagine Harvard guys don't fuck well. I know that's a big generalization, but if someone was like, do you think they fuck well or not? I would probably say not.
Oh, I feel like they fuck good, but they fuck in a toxic way. Cause like that's classic smart people.
Yeah.
You know, like really smart people, like they'll ruin your fucking life.
Here's the thing, though. He was there for tennis. He was an athlete. So I don't know how smart he actually was.
Ivy League doesn't do scholarships based
Really?
purely on athletics, so he has to be at least smart. That's how you know.
He didn't say
That's
much.
like a real quality.
So he kept it inside then.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
he didn't say much. And then
Yeah.
after we'd like hook up, I'd be like, so, you know,
How are you?
what do you like to do?
What's your favorite color?
Yeah,
Or whatever.
So boring. But then I met Matt, and I can say his name, whatever. And and
Suck it, Matt.
suck it, Matt. I could never date a Matt after a Matt.
I know.
for 8 years.
Isn't that funny? I wish I wasn't like that. But
I know.
You date somebody for that long, but then if you meet a celebrity with that same name, I'll make an exception.
It'll change.
Stephen
Yeah.
Jenkins.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna date someone with the same name as an ex that you hate, it has to be like clearly better. You have to clearly
Yes.
have outdone
Upgrade.
yourself.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
Yeah. Otherwise,
To the point where you don't think of that other person.
Exactly.
At all.
yes. Yeah.
But so yeah, we were friends freshman year. He didn't like that I would like put on these like little tiny like dresses and go over to Harvard. He'd be like, why are you going there? Like there's parties here. And I'd be like, okay, I'm busy tonight. And so we were friends. We'd like have dinner in the dining hall, and then I'd leave.
Wow. To go to Harvard.
You thought it was a friendship. He was playing the long game.
No girl man wants to be your friend.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we came back sophomore year, and my roommate said she liked him.
And did that make you like him?
And maybe, but he was like flirting with me, and then she's like, I like him. And I'm like, I never thought of him that way. And then
Yeah, sometimes
we
that'll
like
do it.
made out one night.
How did that?
you
How
have
did
to
that
tell your
land with the
friend?
roommate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, your roommate, right.
This is what happened. She literally I think it was like that day. She saw that we were flirting. Like she had, you know, we were all friends and we were all like out together. And I'm gonna out myself now. We were doing a play together. Okay, we were theater people.
I majored in theater, so
So you get it.
Yeah.
You know, casts get close.
we're
Casts,
horny for everything.
You know, as soon as you have a cast party or after rehearsal, I mean, the clothing
the
comes
middle
off.
school cast parties I went to, I sunded it up. Yeah.
So we were in college, and she told me one day, like when we were out, she's like, neither of us can ever hook up with him because we both like flirt with him or something.
That's a rule that a loser
her
makes.
rule.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how about we make like a new rule where no one gets him because I'm clearly not going to and you are, and I don't want that, so no one gets him, right?
Which is like
knew
your
she
mom
was in second
saying,
place.
like, you know, don't do this, and you're like, all I want to do
Yeah.
is drugs,
Right,
like, you know.
right.
So I don't know. Then we made out one night and like literally dated for 7.5 more
What'd
years.
she say when you started dating?
She wouldn't talk to me for 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. Okay,
We hadn't
She
even
needed
had
some time.
sex, and I told her he stayed over like the first night. We just like made out in my bed, and he like slept over, but I didn't have sex with him yet. I was still a good girl, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, yeah.
I was still like, maybe I'll go back to Harvard.
right. Don't want to slut it up here or there.
And then she wouldn't talk to me for a couple days. And then we ended up all being friends. It actually
Okay.
was like fine. We were
dust
terrible
settled.
roommates. The dust settled. Yes. She moved out.
Nice.
I think when you realize, like, when it's like kind of like both people are making a play for the guy, and then you realize that the two people are a really good fit. For
Yeah,
me,
that's like-
that kind of softens the blow.
Yeah. Oh my God. We also had this choreographer. You'll love this. And I played opposite him in a show freshman year. That was like how we became friends. And then and she like choreographed, I don't know, some kind of number for us. And in the show that night, we kissed at the end of the number, and it wasn't part of the thing. And she freaked out at me. You get notes after the show, and they were like, "Excuse me, there was actually no kiss choreographed into that scene."
You were just swept up by the moment.
She liked him too. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, everyone liked this guy.
I know.
Man.
But also, to a kiss is that's a choice.
Yeah.
A kiss. So if you don't want the two characters to kiss, I would say as a director,
Say it.
don't kiss.
But the two characters were romantic. It wasn't
They
like brother
were.
and sister.
Did they
No,
kiss?
it wasn't brother and sister.
Did they kiss at another point in the show?
No.
Okay.
It was just this time. And
It was just Anna deciding to break the walls.
I was method acting. I don't know. I just fucking got into it. I was like, and I don't even think we talked about it. We just did it.
Yeah, just in the
And
moment.
then afterwards, we were like, remember we like made
That's
out on
crazy.
stage?
Did you like it? I hated it.
What play was it?
How to succeed in business. Really trying. I was like the dumb slut, and he was like the businessman. It was hilarious. We weren't even the leads. We were like the other.
You guys stop making it about you because you're creating a plot that doesn't exist. Also, too, with playwriting, the playwright's word is the word of God. Like
That's
you don't
so
change,
funny.
you don't add an to that shit, let
Well,
alone a kiss.
We added that sex scene, and it was just, people
The
loved
finger
it.
blast scene and at the end of Act 3. You guys didn't like that?
So wrong.
My new interpretation.
Remember when you were like, "Is there anything you don't want to talk about?" I'm like, "Yeah, how to succeed in business."
Yeah.
I'm really trying. I'm trying to keep people on my side here.
I like that. I
so
like
funny.
that. So was he like the stud of the theater?
Yeah, because he
I
was
love
like
that
the
word.
only straight guy. Literally,
Yeah, at
everyone
Marymount.
else-
There was two at Marymount. And they were like, man, swimming in pussy.
Yeah, he was the only one. Because even the ones that were straight freshman year, like after we did a show, like they were like, "I'm bi now. I'm fucking the guys now." Like, they were on their way.
That's amazing.
Every cast has one straight guy. For us, shout out Union High School. It was Steele Burkhart, and like what a name!
What a name!
What a name!
I
And
hope
Chad,
he's a porn star now.
No, Chad.
Yeah.
Listen, he's still in theater. Chad. He's a public figure, so I can say him by full name.
Yay.
I went to see him with Joyelle, who's also from Union, Joyelle Johnson, and he was in Aladdin on Broadway.
Oh my God,
so
I love it.
He fucking made it.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
yeah, right. What a
Nice.
story.
That's great. Yeah, so he was like the only straight person, and we were like married by senior year.
Wow.
Like when you're just like
Obsessed
Yeah.
with each other?
we were obsessed with each other. Yeah,
And it
we
lasted for 8 years. I mean, that's a long, that's a good obsession.
almost. You know, is that
right
that,
before your 8-year anniversary?
that
You're like,
how-
by the way,
that's 7.5. That half I
seven
think
and a half,
really just
7-year itch, man.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know like New York State. We moved here after college together into his dead uncle's apartment in Soho.
Ooh, was it haunted?
I mean, that's the best family member to die, the one who lives in Soho.
Yes.
I didn't even
And
know.
that's a way to keep the relationship going. You're like, I got to keep dating this guy. He's got a dead uncle with a Soho apartment.
I didn't even know that
Shit.
like Soho was expensive because like we graduated and I had a job at a restaurant that I had worked at like a summer before. So we moved here and his uncle had died. I never met the uncle. So I sound like a monster, but like I never met this guy. And we
Yeah,
like,
that's fine. He's no one to you.
yeah, no one.
He's just
dead
a guy.
Apparently
And
he was
dead
on house
to
arrest there too. So like he went through some shit.
Okay. You had to sage that apartment a lot of incense.
Yeah, right.
Get that energy cleared out.
So we moved there. We were living there for free on like Mott and Prince.
Oh,
like,
fuck
prime
off. That's
Soho.
so great.
And then his parents were like, I think we're gonna sell the apartment. And I was like, well, I already know my trains to work, so I might as well stay in this area. That apartment was like $5,000 a month. It was.
Yeah,
we lived
yeah,
in a pull-out couch. Like it was tiny, but it was wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how did the relationship end?
Okay, so there came a year, that 7th year. There came a year. We would like he had a problem. It ended because he was how do I say this in a
Just keep saying
raging alcoholic.
allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, he had some issues.
But
Like,
that doesn't just creep up on you. So did it get worse and worse over the years, or is it just something that as you become an adult you realize this is a problem, this is not fun?
it was secret, so I didn't know. I know. I didn't know.
Damn. I didn't know you could have alcoholism.
Like.
Anything can be a secret if you try hard.
He was very smart and very together, and he
yeah.
went to 2 grad schools, and he was always busy, and he had internship. He was at Columbia. He was
Alcohol or cocaine?
alcohol.
Wow.
I
all that
don't
with
know, but
alcohol,
we'd go
bro.
out with friends, and like I'd have like my friends be like, "Is he okay?" Like he's like he's like saying weird shit or like repeating himself. And I'd be like, what? Like, he's fine. Like, I don't know, maybe he didn't sleep well or something. Like, I'd always have an excuse. And like, I come from a family of alcoholics. And like,
Okay, so it was comforting.
I don't know.
Or was it?
I didn't know. No, but I didn't, it was different. I didn't like recognize it. And then, one day he like freaked out and told me he had a problem.
Okay.
And he hid alcohol. Like, we didn't drink the same thing. So he'd put like I don't drink Diet Coke. He'd put like a Diet Coke full of vodka, like in the fridge. Or like, I didn't drink the vitamin water flavor he liked. And like, so I didn't realize this. And then the day he like had a mental breakdown, that was the last day he was in our apartment forever.
Whoa.
But did he go to a program or
I'm out of here?
He went to his parents, who I guess he didn't go to a program.
Did you?
I published an article about this. He hates when that I published that, and when I talk about it, I'll never say his last name, but you know what I mean.
Right. Well,
Whatever.
he knows who he is, I guess. So he has to live with himself. But that just means he's not comfortable with how he's behaving. Maybe.
Yeah.
There's no shame in being an alcoholic. There's just shame in
There's a lot of people who are
like letting it go and then like ruining the lives of the people around you.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. That one's pretty
Just
shameful.
that little part. Yeah. But I also think people who actually address it and do a good job at it, like, are proud to help other people and proud to talk about it.
Yeah,
at
like
least.
AA people sponsors.
Oh
are
my
very,
God. Yeah. Like, my dad and my sister are like very happy to help people and talk about, like, I went through this, I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he got the help. You know what I mean? He's married now. He lives in another state. We actually are friendly.
wow.
We talk. So it's not like it wasn't like
So that was the
horrible.
breakup. Him realizing he was an alcoholic and he just left.
He left.
And how did you feel about this?
I was a mess. I didn't know how to.
So it took you by
myself.
surprise. Like it didn't seem like your relationships was in the outs, like going.
Yeah, we didn't
downhill.
ever have like a breakup conversation.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
We're
That
kind of like
sucks.
still together, I guess.
Well, you're a polygamist. Well, technically, you're not married, but yeah.
No, he left, and it was winter, and oh my God, I was a mess. I didn't do comedy. I didn't leave my apartment. I didn't call my friend. I didn't know what to do. I was just like so sad.
Did you have any contact with him after that?
Yeah, he'd call me. He'd come in on the weekends, and he'd be wasted, and I'd take him to like an AA meeting in like the East Village. Like, who am I? I'm like walking him across the street. Yeah, it was traumatizing.
Oh my gosh,
It was really weird.
And he's doing well though. He's not.
I think he's doing well. Yeah, we don't get into it. You know what I mean? I don't be like, how's your drinking? I haven't asked him that in 8 years. But
So there was no closure as far as the actual reason why the relationship ended.
there was there was a little bit of closure. Like, he kept like, he would come in and then he'd be a mess, and I'd be like, I can't live my life like this. Like,
Right.
I remember I had an improv class, and I was like, I'm leaving for 3 hours. I'd come back and he's like passed out, wasted on my floor, and I'm like, I can't live like this anymore. And I started to learn, like, maybe I was in therapy. That I got into therapy, and I was like, I can't like fix this person.
Right.
And then it was my birthday in June, 6 months after, and I was like, if I can make it through my birthday without like my boyfriend there, I think I'm good for life. Like, I think I'm fine. So I said,
why
"Don't
the
come."
birthday? Why the birthday?
I don't know. I hold,
That was
I
like a goal that you had in your
I was
head.
like, I like to celebrate my birthday. He pissed me off the weekend before. He like couldn't come in. His family didn't like me, and I was going to go there. And he was like, actually don't. And I was like, I'm at the train station. Like, something shitty happened. I remember.
It was always the family with the fucked up kid who doesn't like the girlfriend, who's the one who's helping your fucked up kid.
Oh my God.
You know who you are.
wow.
Oh shit!
Oh wow. You know his family then.
You met somebody's family?
From Jersey. No. I just was like, Anna, if you can do your birthday with just friends and go out and have a good time, like, you could be single. And that was
Yeah.
it. And I was like, you know what? Don't come to my birthday. I'm okay now.
Yeah, good. Oh, good. And then And then you.
And then I decided to be a slut.
Okay, yeah, you got your slutty years.
And what did
then.
that look like for you?
For me, for 3 years, it was just like hooking up with people I didn't date. And like, I liked it. I felt like the 40-year-old virgin. It took me some time, but I was like, oh my God. As soon as I had sex with the first person after him, I was like, I'm back.
I can do this.
I am the coolest person in the world. Yeah. Like, I could hook up with anyone.
Oh, yeah. I
had
know that
such an
feeling.
ego.
You're invincible.
Because I also had a
wanna
boyfriend
conquer.
for all of college. And having a boyfriend for all of college and then into your 20s is like, I don't regret it because I really, really liked that boyfriend. And the people that I would have been dating otherwise, knowing my track record now, would have been absolute garbage.
Right.
So this
good
guy
to
was
stick with him
great.
for a
He was
while.
hot. He was rich. Everything was great. And he was nice. But yeah, I feel like it's like it's really kind of like suffocates your formative years in a lot of ways. You don't get to do the things that you need to do.
Behind everyone.
Sure. Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
all these people I knew had been dating people in their 20s, and then they're like, well, now we're getting married and stuff. I was like, oh my God, I don't even know how to date. I had never been on an app. I still haven't. And
Yeah, I remember when I broke up with my ex of 7 years, I was like, oh shit, dating apps. We dated OkCupid was the thing, but that was a website. It wasn't even an app.
Right.
And I'm like, how the fuck do you do this?
And I also was like, I don't want to meet someone right now. Like, I don't know myself without him in New York. So.
Yeah. So how did you get to know yourself after this breakup?
After this breakup, I was a mess for like 6 months probably.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's not
8
even a
years?
bad
That's
amount of
not-
time.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But like a mess, like I don't remember doing anything. I didn't do anything.
That's
You know
kind of what happens though. You're grieving. You're grieving the relationship.
I
It
was.
was a confusing ending.
Yeah,
So
very.
you have to process that. That's some fucking confusing shit. And 8 years, Jesus. What was the somebody? So there was like a rule of whatever half the amount
it's
of
half
time you
the
were
time.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I was a mess for 1
Wow,
year
so I
over a
should-
2-year one.
Oh,
Yeah,
so I should
half the
technically.
time.
I got one more year being a mess. Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
I don't care about that ex anymore. But
Oh, you're gonna laugh at what took me out of it. The first guy I hooked up with. This is a funny bit. I was seeing a lot of theater alone. I love doing that. In New
I
York.
do. Yeah, I do too.
I love movies. I love theater. I love music. I like going to
New
everything
York
alone.
dates. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went to try and go see this. I went to go try and see Pippin on Broadway by myself.
Oh, it's such a good play.
It was good. I love Pippin.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get in. And I was so pissed off. And I was like, fuck this. And I went to I got tickets to some other play.
Yeah.
I forget. I think it was like a Tom Hanks play or something
Oh,
at the
all right,
time. And I was
that'll
like,
do.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the play that I set out at like 8 a.m. to go and see. And I went and got a smoothie on like 9th Ave at one of the juice generations there. And this guy sits next to me. And I didn't want to talk to him. I don't talk to anybody in New York. You know, like if
Right.
someone sits next to you, like headphones, my phone died. And I was like, oh my God, my phone died. I can't even
fate.
pretend. I can't even pretend. I was like, what am I going to stare at a blank screen? And he started talking to me, and we had a friend, and he's like asking me a question. And this was when you would like Facebook friend someone, you know? So I
Right.
was like, oh yeah, with Facebook. He's like, oh, we have friends in common. Cause he was like, I work in theater. And I was like, oh, okay. Look at me with all my fucking theater.
Oh, I'm for it. Oh yeah.
Jared doesn't anymore. But then he was like, oh, I gotta go. You know, I gotta go to work. And I was like, oh, what do you do? And he's like, I'm a percussionist. I gotta go play a show. And I was like, what show do you play? And he goes, Pippin. I was like, no.
Do you date me?
I know.
Can I be your plus one to your fucking little orchestra?
Yeah, he couldn't get you into Pippin.
He did.
Did you hook up?
Oh, he did.
Oh yeah, we hooked up.
Oh,
we
okay.
ended up going out. We hooked up. I went and got to see the show one day
my
from the pit. I was
God.
like the girl. I'm like, does he bring a lot of girls? To the
Shit.
pit?
Maybe, but whatever. You got to be one of them.
All my friends were like, Anna did it. She found a straight man on Broadway who could get her tickets to shows. Like you made it.
Yeah. I hooked up with a Broadway guy. Oh fuck, I forget his name. He was so hot. And then he just stopped calling me. And I'm like, no. He was in the one about the Christian boy group.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the
The
name of it,
musical
but
about they're guys in a band and they're Christian based.
I know what you're talking about.
I do too, and I can't think
I
of
forget
it.
the name of it, but oh boy, he was so sexy. Oh, he had long hair and he was great body, beautiful voice. Obviously, he's on Broadway. That was real, man.
This guy had a good body.
Yeah.
He was
percussionist. That's a
fit.
lot.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
lot of fun.
he was
Altar boys?
strong.
Yes.
Yeah,
Altar
Altar
boys.
boys.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
this
hot
guy
for a
was
while.
the opposite of my ex-boyfriend, who was like
Ooh.
short, fat, Jewish. This guy was like a tall Christian, like ripped drummer.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Try this on for size.
I'm glad you brought that part up about
Yeah.
your ex, because I always would, listen, no shade, but I always look at you just with my eyes together and I would be like, how did this occur? And it's now knowing the origin story that like people were like fighting over him. So like what was going on there?
First of all, thank you. I'm going to take that as like a huge compliment.
You're very, very hot and I
love you.
I was like, I just thought maybe this guy, I don't know. And now to learn more about him, I'm even more confused.
About the first ex? Yeah.
You're more confused.
What was his personality?
It was his personality, yeah. And I think until him, I only dated people, like I only liked people based on how they looked, and they weren't very kind. And he was really nice to me, and I was like,
of course he was.
yeah.
yeah, 'cause you were hotter than him.
Of course he was.
And your levels up. He had to be nice because otherwise he'd lose you. Honestly, that's
Until
why
he
it's
ruined
kind of-
my life and made me pay rent by myself for a year. Okay?
What a dick.
Now we know what the breakdown was really about. Paying that rent by yourself.
How could he do this?
No, I ended up staying. I had a job. I had a day job.
Nice,
I was
nice.
making money.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, not of course. Not that anything is based solely off looks, but sometimes it's just like so. We listen. We've all seen the Charlotte plotline on Sex and the City. So
I was gonna say,
See, I
you had
like
a couple
Harry.
of better years there, and that you didn't know him in his better years. There were a couple of
you sound
years
like
he was
me.
hotter.
He's nicer when it's just me and him alone. No one else is there is when he's the nicest
he was
to me.
He was like a Harry though.
How hairy was he?
Not very, actually. He took care of himself. I think I
Okay,
appreciated
cool.
that. Yeah, he was good at
Nice.
grooming.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So then you're hooking up with the Pippin percussionist.
Yeah, the hot drummer guy.
Hot drummer.
What
yeah.
luck.
And then-
wow.
He wasn't, he was also, okay, I didn't realize this because I was the 40-year-old virgin, after dating someone for that long, that after you have sex with someone, they immediately think you're going to want to be their girlfriend. And I was like, he was like, we had sex one time and the next morning, he's like, I just don't know if I'm ready for a
I've had that happen. I'm like, what the? Who the fuck asked you?
Right.
For a relationship.
I was so offended. I was like,
I didn't
you
sign
think
it.
you're the first and only, like I told
Yeah.
him too, I was in a relationship for 8 years. You're the first person I've hooked up
That
with.
speaks a lot about what the energy you guys are putting out, because no one ever says that to me. They just know that I'm going to be like leaving.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. They don't worry about that.
I need to get Corinne's energy then. It's like, I don't know what I did, but it was my apartment, I guess. I don't know.
He was just cocky. Maybe.
You just have like a kind of like a wholesome all-American girl energy.
Wow, thank you.
It's just like, so it's like helpful in some situations. And I think but like if you want to just be promiscuous, it works against you.
Yeah.
It's a more feminine energy. I have a more masculine energy. So everyone just assumes
love that
I'm not
about
going to
you.
call them back. And I'm not. So there you go. I'm either not going to call them back or I'm going to throw rocks at their window at night until you call the cops.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, no in between. No in between. We ain't got time to
energy is
half-ass
frightening.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Mike had to pick up a lonely microphone to say that.
Wow.
Intimidated by all this estrogen fierceness, Michael?
It's weird because 3 years of being a host sounds like a nice amount of time, but 3 years goes by quick.
years isn't
It does.
quickly.
Yes, it
I was
did.
supposed to be a hoe for the last 3 years. I wasn't a hoe. But
Well,
how many
two
people
of
did
them
you
you
hook
were
up with?
locked down in a pandemic. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
the
true.
world
that really,
crumbled.
That really fucked with my game.
It did, yeah. We didn't date very long, the drummer and me, and it was fine. We ended up, I was
Yeah,
like,
it's going your separate ways.
whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a breakup.
You
or
got to go to
anything.
the
It was
pit
just-
and Pippin.
I did.
That's pretty
I
cool.
know. It was very cool.
Did you ever make it to girlfriend status with him?
No,
Okay.
definitely not. And I like made that after that comment. I think I was like turned off. I was like,
Yeah, that's a little.
we would like see
presumptuous
each other.
of you,
We'd
Bill.
like go out to a bar and have drinks, and like we had some friends in common, and then we'd like hook up, and that was it. It was just
Yeah.
like,
That's fun.
yeah, it was fine.
got the job done.
Yeah,
And then
that
just let
was
it up after him.
Yeah, with like way too many UCB comedy people.
Oh wow! Well, that's like a theater environment. That's a
Yeah.
very horny environment.
Very much.
Very
Yeah.
incestuous.
Like I think I feel like I went through like improv teams.
Nice.
And like
What if, wow, I imagine you like. I know you don't not do this, but I'm taking it to extreme. Like orchestrating a gangbang and like auditioning improv teams for a gangbang. That'd be so fun.
I feel like I did have a gangbang one night. Like there were definitely
Wait, what?
yeah.
That's fun.
My friend and I,
Like
we went to,
multiple guys?
Remember McManus? Is that around?
Yes, I
still?
do.
It's not closed, I believe, but
in Chelsea.
great.
Yeah, that was the UCB bar.
That was the UCB bar. Yeah, it was like this dive
gangbang
bar.
in Manis?
Not there, but like at an apartment nearby.
What?
I
That's
was like,
so fun.
I like was like hooking up with one person on an improv team. It's like so gross to think now back, especially all these people. And like my friend liked this other guy on the same team, and we like went, and there were a lot of people. There were like 10 people there, and they all got into their underwear. And
at McMahon or
no, at this apartment, it was like 2 blocks away from McManus.
10
like
guys or girls?
Guys. All the guys were fucked up enough where they took their clothes off, and we were kind of like, "Is this how they
how
are?"
gangbangs start?
Yeah,
Oh,
is
okay.
this- like I don't know. And they all like got into bed with each other.
What?
It was like
Is that-
and then they were like, "Now you guys," and we were just so like. I'll say, I've never really had a gangbang, but I don't think the way to get these girls to take your clothes off is for the guys to all get naked first and get in bed together. And we're just kind of like, oh, do you guys
need some time alone?
what?
Like, do you want to go? That's what I would say with
was
that.
weird.
Move. And then what happened?
We left. Oh, my friend and I went to a diner. We were like, that got weird, right? I was like, I prefer hooking up with just one of them.
Was there dicks out?
Yeah, there were.
How could 10 guys fit in one bed?
No, there were like 3 naked guys, and the rest were like just kind of hanging around. And they all thought it was funny. They thought they were being so funny. It was like
What?
a
That's not.
That's the problem with improv guys. They're way too comfortable getting naked with their subpar bodies, and then they think it's like funny, and it's just like you have obviously something sexually that you need to explore, which is great, and I love that you're comfortable to
And
do
go
that.
do it.
But please don't involve women.
Yeah, don't involve
us in
me.
this shit.
Yeah.
I know I feel like they thought it was like, you know, when you're in college and they're like, yeah, 2 girls are gonna like make out, like you guys should kiss, like that's so hot. Like,
Yeah.
did they think we were like, oh, look at these 2 quote unquote straight guys just taking off their clothes,
Right.
getting into bed with each other?
Yeah, right in the bed.
I was like, I could really go for like pancakes.
there was no flirting. Yeah, you got to flirt. Oh my gosh.
It was the least hot thing ever.
Gosh, people really don't know how to start a gangbang, right?
No, it was not. No. And yeah, that was the last time I think with those people that I like.
Have you ever hooked up with multiple people at the same time? Like, in the same room?
In the same room.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. But I was going to say at that time I was hooking up with 2 people on the same improv team, and I don't think they
Knew about it? Nice.
And I was like, I'm
such a bad girl.
I'm such a slut at UCB. Like, wow, you know. But I'm also like doing sketch. Like,
Yeah.
Did you go and watch their improv shows and like get horny because you saw both of them like yes and
Whenever 2 guys I fucked are in the same room, I get horny. Because it doesn't happen often.
I would go to the shows, but then like I realized, oh, I should just meet up after this. All these girls come to these shows and they're all these like students and stuff, and they all like throw themselves at them, and they have such a fucking huge ego. That's why these improv guys
power
with
trip,
the
yeah.
mediocre bodies, you know, all these girls are
Yeah,
like,
they don't need to work out.
you were so funny in this show, and they're just like, they can have anybody.
My former ex married a student. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't
Easy route.
It sounds like they're the same age and everything. Everything's fine about it. But
Yeah.
I was never like, but it just made me laugh because you're right. It's about men ultimately looking for someone who puts them on a pedestal. And like sometimes the pedestal is the highest you're going to get is teacher at UCB.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah.
oops.
There you go. Maybe they have a podcast.
No shade to that person. I'm not mad at that person, but that part about it does make me laugh. And I don't even think he would disagree with the psychological breakdown of it.
No, he wouldn't, because that's what guys do. Not every guy, but
think he
a
knows.
lot of them do.
Listen, it's no secret that you're not going to get put on a pedestal by me. So, because I'm already on the pedestal and the pedestal's small, so there's only room for my feet.
Only room.
Yeah.
I love it.
So how do you meet your current boyfriend Jared? How does that happen?
Well, I tried to stop dating at UCB. You know what I mean?
For you.
Yeah. So there were a couple of people I was like hooking up with before him.
Right.
That I was in. I went through a musician hole, which you know what?
I like music.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know, I think I dated 2 more drummers.
Nice.
Or like a drummer and a guitarist.
Okay.
as long as it's not the lead singer, I feel like you're fine.
Yeah. Yes. Well, the guitarist also sang, and he was a monster. Actually, he was the worst.
See, there you go.
He was the worst, and I actually think when we would have sex, can I say this? Because you were like, get graphic. I'm
Yeah.
like, here's a graphic thing. And maybe you've experienced this. After he came, something happened in his brain and he turned into like a monster, like the meanest person in the world.
Oh, wow. Like, what'd he do?
Like he'd be like, get out of my bed. Like he'd be
my
like, get out of
God.
my bed or get an Uber. Like,
Oh my
get the
God.
fuck out of here. I have to wake up early. Like he'd get evil.
oh, because
I
he
love-
hates himself. He hates himself.
I love that you are looking at this from a medical standpoint. And the diagnosis, Anna, is that he was an
self-loathing.
asshole.
He was an asshole.
He
But
hates
he was fine.
human
We'd have
behavior
sex. Sex was good though. Here's the
Wow,
thing.
yeah.
The sex was fine and good. And I'd be like, I would like dread it ending because I was like,
He's gonna be mean.
Maybe, but I kept thinking
Wow.
maybe he'll be better this time. I don't know.
Right. Well, that's such a jarring switch.
It was so
That-
weird.
Maybe
How many
he'll be
times
better
did you-
next time than a straight woman's handbook to dating.
I know.
I mean,
Ugh, we got to burn that.
He'd come and literally like something would happen in his eyes, and I'd be like, and the devil is inside him.
Wow.
Like, I don't know.
His eyes would like gloss over.
Yeah.
Or he would,
And he'd turn into this awful.
did you ever talk to him about it?
Yeah, I'd say, why do you get like this? And he'd be like what? Like he couldn't address
Wow.
it. Could not handle feel it.
Some men have a lot of shame attached to sex.
Was he religious maybe perhaps? Or maybe he grew up religious?
No.
There's some shame. Yeah, he hates himself. That's very clear. And he's taking it because it's all projecting. He's all projecting his hatred on you.
It was so like I remember I just have like visions of me in the Lower East Side, living in the Lower East Side,
so
of course,
mean.
like a fucking walk up, and I'd like get my Uber and like sob in my Uber going home, like be like, why do I do this to myself?
Right. What
The
was
night was
answer?
fun.
The dick.
Yeah, it was good. It was good sex, and the night was. We'd have fun. We'd go out. We'd go see a show. We'd go to a bar. We'd get drunk, and then we'd hook up, and then immediate like
Interesting.
How successful was he in his field?
He had been on tour with a bigger artist. He had been opening for a bigger artist, so he had seen success where he had like toured the country or whatever.
But like, would I know the name of his band?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that could have been it.
Yeah, I guess when we started hooking up, he was like not aware. I guess he thought like, well, once you go on tour, like that's it, right?
Yeah, you can become a big star.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Europe.
Did he ever
Hollywood Walk of Fame, baby?
Do you know where he is now? Like,
I do. Yeah.
And is he doing better or
I'd
still
say,
plateauing?
Not with that attitude.
I'd say about the same. He has a girlfriend. You know
Okay.
that?
Hopefully, he's nicer.
I ran into them on the train once and I thought, she's so sweet. Before the pandemic, I'm like, wow, what a nice girl. I hope it's okay for her.
Like, yeah, I've never heard of that. I know that guys get different, or like women, like I'm a totally different mindset after I come. But I've never experienced that. That's curious.
It was, I had never experienced
And then
anything
did
like
you stop hooking up with him, right, or did he just like? How did that end? How did that sex
it was always
relationship end?
it was never we were never boyfriend and girlfriend, literally a year on and off. We would just like meet up and have these like weekend rendezvous and like that was it. And then we wouldn't talk for a little while and then we'd be like, let's hang out. Like I
love that.
Yeah, it was honestly it was what I wanted.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
good.
was like, oh, I don't have to like, he's not someone I'd bring home to like my family. He's not coming to a wedding with me. Like it was just
Right. No maintenance required.
Kinda just
except
like-
that fucking dick attitude after he comes. Damn.
I didn't know at first. Like it took a couple times to be like, oh, this happens every time.
Right. Okay.
come.
Yeah.
The devil enters your body and you like it was
So weird.
possessed.
Wow. Maybe, is that medical?
No,
I don't know.
Don't you start this. No, it is
No, I
not.
mean, like, what is that?
It's
why?
called
why
being a fucking
after
asshole.
He comes,
it's called getting what you want and then not having to behave yourself anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. It was
This is not medical. Very
spiritual. I don't know what the fuck happened,
yeah.
but it was as if like it was like that movie where she gets possessed by the devil and she like spins her head around
Oh,
afterwards.
Carrie? Or no, the
Exorcist. Yes.
Listen, I understand.
Wow.
I understand from sometimes after I come, I want the person out of my sight, but I would never actually voice that.
Right.
No, because you are smart and you have
It's just about
manners.
Yeah, some of it, like a lot of life is just like knowing things that are socially acceptable to do and say. And that's the difference between having autism and not having autism. Like that's literally, if we're talking about medically, that's what it is. And I don't think this guy had autism.
yeah.
Right, because it has to do with the orgasm. So
Yeah.
it's like, that's not
Exactly.
that selective with
That's
it.
the only time where you have like a fucking out for saying something rude like that.
Right.
Yeah. It was, I don't even know I couldn't tell you what it was.
Wow, interesting. And then how many guys after that before you met?
Oh, there were a couple. I was in my heyday. I was hooking up with 3 guys at the time when I met Jared.
That's nice. It's nice to have a rotation because
Yeah.
then you're not too hooked. Do you get hooked on guys easily or do you get like,
No.
Okay, so it's,
No,
It's
I mean,
nice. I had a rotation
I say no,
in
but I'm
college.
like, probably.
maybe. Who knows?
No, I had a nice rotation. There was
That's-
there were 3, literally 3. And I remember I did a show, of course, at UCB. It comes back to the fucking theater.
Well,
And
This show is here because of UCB, so we're fine.
yeah. Oh, I know. That's how you guys met.
No, that's not how we met. Actually,
We did
that's
a show
how
at UCB.
that's how I met the person who dumped me, who is the impetus for the show,
Who I do know.
which
yes.
is like a sad, not cool origin story.
Yeah. But
But look at where you are.
Yeah. Turned out good. Happy
Shameful
ending.
beginnings.
I know.
He knows how I feel about it too, because he's like, when I was like, we were writing the book, he's like, I know how much you hate UCB, and I was like, at least we could have an understanding about that.
Well, at this point, it just feels old to be like, I met this person at UCB. And people are now like,
What
what's
are you,
that?
10?
yeah, doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah.
No, I was judging. I was like, there was a show where I was like the judge of an improv competition or whatever, like a cage match type thing. And
Okay.
he was on one of the teams. Didn't think anything of it. I was watching the show. I was like, wow, improv sucks. This is so bad. If anything,
Scripts are invented for a reason.
Yeah.
If you ask Jared, he's probably like, yeah, my dad said that the first time he ever saw me do improv, he was like, you're very
a waste
good
of money, son.
scripted. I was like, what?
I was so bad at improv too,
21.
man.
I was bad.
Yeah, I was so bad.
I probably
I didn't know
thought
what
I was
words
great.
meant, so I'm like, you can't do improv if you don't have a full understanding of the English language. Turns out.
So Jared was on one of the teams. He did improv, and we're in the bar after. My friend Katie comes up to us and was like, "Anna, have you met Jared? Jared, have you met Anna? Like you guys should hang out." And she's like trying to set us up in front of everyone. I was like, what are
weird.
you doing? And she's like, I just thought you guys should meet or whatever. And I was like,
she was
okay. And I said hi to him and whatever. And I was like, they were all going to a bar, and I was like, I have to go to Bowery Electric. I'm
cute.
I'm seeing a drummer there.
Oh, wow. I gotta go.
It felt so good to be like, okay, improv friends,
Yeah.
you guys have fun at that bar you're going to. I have a show to
Yeah,
make.
yeah.
I'm seeing
watch.
someone.
That is fucking cool.
And so the night I met Jared, I went to the show at Bowery Electric, hooked up with this guy I was seeing,
Nice.
and then she put us on a text.
Whoa, that's
Why
cool.
did your
really
friend-
wanted you guys to get together?
Did she ever
She was right
explain?
though.
No, she didn't.
Was she a ghost? What?
She was friends with him. Okay, here's the thing. She was also dating his friend on the team, and they
Okay.
broke up. And I feel like she thought maybe if she gets her friend to date him,
I
she
was like, there's
could.
gotta be a
The
reason
four
for
of us
her.
could go out. Yeah, she was
Right.
connected to the team romantically. I don't
Okay.
remember which guy she was dating, but they were friends. And so I kept thinking maybe she was upset about this guy, and she'd go to their shows and be like, well, if Anna dates Jared, then maybe
I could get back together with so and so.
yeah, whatever
This is
his
a
name is.
strategic move.
I think so.
Okay,
I
cool.
actually
It
think
had
so.
to have been, yeah.
And so she put us on this text thread with other people, and it was called the Hamilton lottery or the
no.
Hamilton ticket. No one had seen Hamilton. This was when it was
I remember some people's
why
full
she's single.
personality was trying to see Hamilton for a good 3 years there.
Me.
And I was sitting back. I was sitting back just so relaxed because I had seen Hamilton at Joe's Pub and before it even made it to Broadway, because I worked for Lin-Manuel Miranda's management
Yes.
company at the time. So
I remember.
So I was like, you guys scurry along. I've already seen it.
Yeah.
It was so relaxed. What a relaxing time for me.
I mean, that lottery was just a mind fuck.
Wow.
Every day I should have been in therapy for not seeing that fucking.
You take that out of the theater kid's hands, you're gonna have a problem.
So funny.
So she had this whole strategic plan. We're gonna go at 6 a.m. We're gonna get on. I was like, I have a dog. I'm not going anywhere at 6 a.m. and then going home. So I couldn't do it. And then somehow, I don't know, the text kept going or whatever. And then she was like, are you going to our friend's birthday party at Senor Frogs in Times Square?
Damn, these are lame ass motherfuckers.
Joke birthday party. And it was 10. I was like, yeah, I think I am. I had strep throat.
You know what? Sign me up. And you had strep throat.
I had strep
Damn.
throat, but I got
Let's get
medication.
everyone- Okay.
So
Honestly, you would have gotten it at Senor Frogs either way, so you're fine.
So I'm on whatever amoxicillin. I'm taking, it was day. I was like, I guess I don't really have a fever today. I'll go. I had a medicine.
Spoken like a true champion.
So it's 10 of our friends who were going to this birthday. Katie decides to bring Jared as her guest. No one else brought a guest. There was a reservation, it was a table.
Oh, wow.
She brings him as a guest and seats him next to me. I was like, what the fuck?
Wow. She was going to take his hand and put his fingers up your vagina for him. Wow.
This is crazy.
This is a facilitating
It was
on
too
another
much.
level.
It was too much, and I didn't like it. I'd be like, stop.
It would make me distant from the person.
Yeah.
It's smothering.
Which is honestly probably why he was obsessed with me, because I was like, okay, you're here, great.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
I gotta go fuck somebody else. So see ya. Sorry this keeps happening.
So that night, Senor Frogs, I'm already on medication. I got one of those tubes of margarita.
Wow.
And we took Jello shots.
Fuck those
and
meds. Wait, don't antibiotics not work when you take?
we
when
were
you drink?
fucked up. I don't know what I got kicked off the dance floor for mooning. Jared saw me at my worst. I moon a lot. You've seen my Instagram.
Yeah,
I like
you
to
love-
show my ass.
Yeah.
You do too. I love
I don't. I don't
No,
do it
she doesn't
anymore. I put that behind me. But yes,
Behind
I feel like
you?
I've seen one. And the puns keep coming.
We're comedians.
I feel like I saw one recently and I was like, God, I love her. Look, Jared. I was like, I gotta see who's asked. I just saw a butt and I was like, it's Corinne.
But
So yeah, I thought it was funny. I was in like a dress. So I moon the audience and there's like a security guard tapping me and he's like, get off the dance floor.
jealous.
That's so funny.
Jared's like sitting at the table. Knows nobody.
Did you have a thong on or did you take your underwear
I had a
off?
thong on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's a proper,
fine.
that's a healthy moon.
I think
It wasn't
so.
like your butthole out.
There were children, you know, it was Senor Frogs in Times Square.
Okay.
That's
Well,
their
that's a little-
parents' fault. Just
Well-
don't take your kid to Senor Frogs.
Right?
And if you
Come
do,
on.
expect to see an ass.
Yeah, don't.
You know,
they're
say
probably
your
playing
frogs.
the thong song, and I was like, I know this one.
Right.
Guess what I have underneath?
So that was our
thong
first
song.
night hanging out, and we ended up going to a karaoke bar afterwards.
Wow, that's some
and we
theatery shit.
we
Yeah, I
went
love it.
hard all night, and then he lived 10 blocks away from me in the East Village, and so we shared a car home, and it was like 4 a.m. and we like made out in the car, and I was like, "That's it, I'm seeing other people." I was like, "I can't add a fourth," and then I left, and that was it, and that was the first night we hung out, and then he like texted me, "Do you want to have dinner?" Like a couple days later, and I was like, I guess, you know, I'm gonna see him around. I shouldn't be rude.
And then you fell in
So
love with him?
so you begrudgingly went on a date?
Like I wasn't, I think I wasn't
Katie will
searching
kill me
for
if I
it.
say no.
No, yeah, but it was also like he was really nice, but I wasn't like obsessed. I wasn't like it wasn't
Right.
something I was seeking or like looking. It was very easy. He was like, "Do you want to go to dinner?" Like, and I was like, "Oh, I have a show." He's like, "Oh, I have something in that area. Like, we can go somewhere." I was like, "Oh, okay, if it fits my schedule."
Sure, buddy.
Right.
Well,
He got my schedule too. Like that was the thing about dating people outside of, you know, the comedy world. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, you don't realize that I don't have time for you at night mostly.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't remember, like that was it. It was like a couple dates and then I was like I stopped seeing the other people.
Like, so you immediately
tell
really
him?
liked him, or
I liked him. I wasn't like, I didn't want to like put all my eggs in one basket. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It was like,
Because that rotation's pretty fun.
It was
And
fun.
you feel like a free woman, you know? You're really like, your sexuality is kind of, you know, you're really leaning into it in a fun way. Yeah.
I also wasn't like, do I even know how to be in a relationship again? I don't know at this point. Like I really like my living alone and I have a routine and I have like friends now and like life is good. I can like go out and do things. So I was like, I think I was like worried about that, but I just kind of like, I didn't put any pressure on myself or think about it. And then he was the only person I was seeing. And I was like,
Wow, that's fun. And how long have you been dating?
6 years almost.
Wow, that's
I know. 5.5 years. Oh my God.
that's so long, but it doesn't feel like suffocating. I don't know. I feel suffocated.
Well,
after
pandemic,
about-
you know,
What,
I'd say.
How did you get it through that?
We got through the pandemic. Honestly,
did you have fun?
So
Did you
much
enjoy
fun.
it? Oh, that's nice.
I think it was we love staying home. Like we're very good at, you know, doing whatever we need to do to be home all day, not getting dressed. Like
Yeah.
I love staying home. There will be days where Jared's like, "You haven't been out in 3 days. I've walked the dog for 3 days. Like you should go outside." And I was like, "Has it been 3?"
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I changed. I showered. Like
Yeah.
it feels like a new day.
It is in my head, bitch.
There was a costume change.
We did start looking at like 2-3 bedroom apartments that we could never afford just because I do want my own room and
Yeah.
bathroom, you know? Like
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
felt too close.
Do you have a one bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Until the spring. And then,
Oh, yeah, now you live in a 2-bedroom?
no, we're going to move this spring.
Into a 2-bedroom?
Yeah.
And you're going to have separate bedrooms?
No, but you
Okay.
know,
'Cause I was
separate
like,
spots.
Yeah, I've
He works
known-
from home. It's like tight.
That's a lot. That's a lot. My ex-boyfriend and I, we lived together for 6 years. He worked from home. I worked from home the last 2 years, and we had 2 separate floors.
Holy
so that,
shit.
So I didn't physically see him, and that kept me sane. But I knew he was down there, and so that was still. I had
That's
a lot.
hard.
I had a lot of trouble. I had
Wow.
to take a lot of walks around the block because I'm like, I know you're here.
These
And I
stories
don't
are
like
rough.
it.
Basically, I have the whole
here-
apartment.
yeah.
Jared works in the corner of our bedroom.
That's where he belongs.
on a
Yeah.
fold-out desk.
Yep. Yep.
I don't even have a job, but I have a desk in the other room.
So what happened? I'm curious. Like, what did you guys talk about? Future, like where you want to?
Neither of us
kids, or
want to
just-
get married or have kids.
nice.
I've always been that way.
Yeah.
I mean, with my ex, I feel like we talked about like getting married one day, but it was never a priority.
Yeah.
And with Jared, yeah, I mean, people are always asking us, and I'm like,
Right. I was gonna
so
also ask.
fucking
Do you get that
annoying.
a lot?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I immediately can be like,
Well,
I've never
I also
wanted
had the urge to
kids.
ask you, but I think it's probably because I guess society. I don't know.
It's yeah. I mean, no, maybe one day. My brother and my sister are now married. They're both younger. My mom loves I have my own journey. As she likes to
I was
say.
going to ask with
Is
having
your mom passive aggressive or is she like?
No, she's Jewish. Oh, yeah.
She's Jewish. My poor mother, none of her 3 kids are with Jews. Oh. Nobody's with a Jew. I know. It's rough for her. She pretends
that's
she's
so-
fine, but I know it's not.
Yeah, oh man, that's so weird. Like,
Jared's the most Jewish.
but he's not Jewish. Oh, okay.
But he fasts on Yom Kippur and he does.
That's fun.
Just out of solidarity.
Yeah, and he knows the prayers.
That's sweet.
And
He's
and
Jewish adjacent.
he gives a shit. He really tries, and I'm
Judaism's
like, wow,
a beautiful
you're
religion.
very good to me for doing that, and like to my parents. My parents, he's the favorite. Even my sibling, everyone will agree. They're like, oh, Jared, man.
Oh wow.
6 years ago when he started fasting on Yom Kippur, my mom they're like, mom fell in love.
You respect me so much.
That's nice. Okay.
Very nice.
So, does your mom put pressure on you guys? Did she ever put pressure on you guys to date somebody Jewish?
Oh,
Or she
not really. I just knew it was important to her. Like,
Okay.
She always hoped we would she'd send us like
always
stuff,
so
like
interesting.
make sure you light the menorah. I sent you one,
Yeah.
she'd always make sure it was like a part of your life.
Right. Well, which I understand. Like, there are some beautiful traditions and stuff in religious growing up in a certain religion. But I always am interested in the parent that would disapprove if their kid married somebody outside of their religion. I'm
No.
like, come on, man.
They don't disapprove. But my sister's wedding was like my mom loved to call it the non-denominational wedding.
Jesus.
And then
No glass being broken here.
no, she said, except
the
we're
one
going to
that
do a
she
couple
throws
things
privately.
My
Yeah.
mom's like, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to do these 6 prayers.
Okay.
She's going to do and my grandfather's tallis is going to be the chuppah, and we're going to have the glass. I go, Mom, that's a Jewish
That's
wedding.
a lot of things.
I offered to his family, my sister's husband's family, they could do any of their traditions. They didn't have any. I go, okay, so you're doing all these things and they're not?
Well,
They hate you.
They'll make up traditions just to compete, so they have some say in the wedding.
No, I'm sure they were frightened of her. It was her wedding. She ran that shit.
Damn.
Yeah, but no, we don't have plans to get married. We're going away soon, which I'm very
Cute.
excited about. Yeah. We're going on a trip. I'm like, wow, remember trips? Like, what?
I haven't taken a trip like that. Wasn't a work trip in a while.
Me neither.
So the top of the pandemic was the last one.
And it's stressful to take a trip that's not a work trip. You're like, oh, work's
you're
going
like,
to
am
come
I
in.
allowed to do this?
As soon
Yeah.
as you get on a plane, they're going to be like, hey, we have stuff for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I went out of my way. I went to Costa Rica a couple months ago, and I planned so many weeks in advance to get all my work done and to tell people in my life over and over again that they were not to
Not to
contact
bother
me.
you. Yeah.
But it was so much work preparing to not work for a week. It worked out though because I was really fucking serious about
Yeah.
it.
Good.
I was like, do not contact me.
I'd be afraid to contact you if you
Yeah.
told me that.
because I was very serious.
Yeah. You got to get your vacay time in. It's got to be focused vacation.
She's hired people to be like, don't email.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Oh my God. How do you, I was gonna say, how do you find someone who doesn't want to get married or have kids? But it's apparently I need to know. Can I have Katie's info?
Yeah.
Can I?
Absolutely. But here's the thing. I think if I wanted those things, I think Jared would probably be like, sure.
Such a guy.
Does that make you less interested in him though? Because anytime anyone is willing to do whatever I want, I get disinterested in them.
No.
Okay.
Because I think
Well, bend over, blanketly, whatever you want to do.
Just if I
like
know
that,
I can,
yeah. 'Cause
if
it's
I know
have
I
your
can
own
convince
opinions.
you to do anything, I'm bored.
wow.
Wow.
But why?
Maybe
'Cause
I'm bored.
It's not challenging because I can get men to that point a lot, and then I get bored, and then I dump them.
Wow. We have
I was
very
just
different
worried.
interests, though. I'd say
You and Jared?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Like the things we do, and we're very good at doing our own thing. Like
That's nice. You have autonomy.
yeah, I mean, he, if it were up to him, if I left for the week, I mean, he would love it. He'd play video games nonstop, and he'd play video games online with strangers, and I guess by himself in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
and
Does he not do that when you're there?
he'd see movies. No, he does. But I notice when I leave, if I have to leave for
has,
shows
the
or something,
controller in
I
the
come
hand
back
already?
and he's like,
Well, I wasn't doing anything.
I'm like, so you've been busy, since I left. He won't eat. He won't do anything.
Well, if you went on vacation without him, he'd starve.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, he's fine. He was very independent when we met, and I loved that about him. I'm like, oh, he had his own apartment. He didn't have roommates.
Ooh.
He was also the kid in his family, his siblings and stuff. But he was the one that moved to New York and made a new
Yeah.
life for himself. Everyone
Yeah.
else all his friends have 17-year-old children.
Wow. 17-year-old.
When we first started dating, he took me home. They were like,
so weird.
"You're so wild. You guys like live in New York City. You don't even have kids." And I was like, "What?"
My kid's graduating high school.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I still get so offended when people ask me like on Mother's Day if I have a kid, and then I realize I'm 36 and it's actually a completely fine question to ask me. I'm like appalled. I go, what do you think is going on in my life? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not on. I didn't know we were filming 16 and pregnant today. I'll get wild, and then I go, oh, you're literally 36. Actually, in a couple years,
You're an old bitch
will
for a
physically
mom.
not be able to have children anymore. I can't wait till that day. I can't
we
wait.
should
Where they stop
celebrate.
asking because they're like, "There's no way."
She's in menopause. I can't wait till I get hot flashes.
I never wanted kids. I was always vocal about it.
Yeah. Are people obnoxious to you about? Because I'm the same way, and people go, "You'll change your mind." I go, "Well, Mother Nature is going to tell me I can't change my mind pretty soon."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, they're not that rude about it. I think it scares people. Like,
Yeah, probably what scares them is you have a life of freedom.
yeah.
And they
Absolutely.
don't. So it's like their own choices scare them, perhaps. Because everyone's always projecting. I mean, most of the time. It's just all the time.
does it disappoint your parents in any way? Like that you won't give them grandkids?
I don't think so.
That's
my
good.
sister had a kid, so
Oh, good.
they're set.
I always thank God for my brother. Yeah.
My mom would say so many times, like, guess I'm not getting grandkids from you.
Oh
I'm
no.
like, I guess not. You're so nice to me.
I'd be like, but you'll get a nice house when I get really rich one day.
And she did. And now I don't talk to her. So, cheers.
Okay, that took a turn.
Yeah, that's my life.
Yeah, no, exactly. I feel like it's, I'm very always glad to have like a more traditional brother because, hey, he fills
Yeah.
all those familial needs.
Yes, yes.
And I'm like, oh, you're moving in with your girlfriend. I love this.
Take it to the next level.
What are you going to get married?
Get that baby in
Let's
her.
really do this.
yeah. Now that both my siblings are married, I'm like, wow, they've
off the hook.
got other people to bother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So nice. And then I can just do whatever the fuck I wanted to do.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Have birthday parties for my dog and shit.
How has your sex life ebbed and flowed in a long-term
I love your
relationship?
birthday parties for your dog. I was like,
really
my
good.
brain was like, I love his birthday party.
They're really good.
How has my sex life
Ebbed and flowed in a long-term relationship.
Oh, well, we used to have sex all the time. Those first 2-3 years.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like I remember like my 7-year relationship. The first probably 2 or 3 years. Every time we saw each other, we're like, well, we have to. We have to fuck each
Multiples
other
in the morning, in the
fuck
night.
each other all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and I think now, am I old? Is it just we're comfortable with each other?
Yeah.
I mean,
And the newness makes you horny. Really.
yeah, definitely. I'd say in the pandemic and, like in the later 3 years of our relationship, like we don't have sex as much, but
Yeah, that happens.
when we do, it's still great and I enjoy it, but we don't do it as much.
Do you wish you had more? Does he voice wishing he had sex more, or are you both okay with it?
I think we both voiced we would like more.
But then you don't do anything about it? I'm curious.
Do you voice it to one another?
We do voice it to one another. Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's like, it depends on I feel like you have to schedule it now. And I hate that.
Sometimes
And I
you
don't
do.
want to have to schedule it. But
Yeah.
I'm also very good at passing out as soon as I eat dinner and sit on the couch.
Me too.
Like it's a skill. It's,
I know. I'm done. I literally tell boyfriends, like I tell my boy, I'm like, he'll get upset, and I go, you know that you have to fuck me before we have dinner, and I've told you this a million times, and I don't.
Are we old? Is this
Better
what's
all
happening?
around.
Do our bodies just need to shut down after you eat a bowl of pasta?
I don't want to be fucked after I have a belly full of food.
I was always like this, even when I was like
churn it.
in my early 20s. For me, eating and sex fill the same needs, and so only one is happening.
Wow. Yeah. So we have to do spontaneous, we do more, I'd say, spontaneous things. It's not just like when we were first dating and it was like, well, we went out to dinner, we got drinks, and now we go home and we
Right.
have sex. Like, no, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the ebb and flow that it takes, which I like. I like that. I don't know. It's
But
nice.
like you said, meals and sex do the same for, if I pass out on the couch, I'll wake up at 2 a.m. Jared won't even touch me. He won't even wake me up, and he's playing video games. I go, how long have I been asleep here?
motherfucker.
How long have I been asleep here? You're playing video games? This is what you want to do? Remember we used to have sex? That
get
old
mad about
angry
it?
couple.
Oh my God.
Have you ever talked about anything like opening it up or hall passes, or that's just like far from who you guys are as a couple?
I think it's far from who we are.
And do you know, do you know that, like, what are the difficult conversations you've had over the course of the past 7 years?
The difficult conversations, probably like the marriage and kids stuff, because I don't want to hold him back, and I would say that to him. I'd be like, I love you, and I think you're a wonderful person, and I think he'd be a great father. Like he's such a good dog owner. You know, I mean, he is the ultimate dog owner at this point. You know, but I'm always like, well, I walked him
takes the dog outside
the first 6 years. Yeah. I did it. You know?
Yeah.
So I think those were very difficult when it was like, if you want these things, like, please speak up. Like, I don't want to hold you back.
Yeah.
And I'm very good at that. Also, when I lost my job, that was very hard because I never like having someone pay for me. And like in a lot of things, I love to just be, you know, I've lived alone for so many years, and I was like very emotional when I lost my like day job. And I was like, I'm not going to have money now. Like, I can't go and do things you want to do. You have a job. I'm poor now. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want you to pay for me for everything. Like, we'd have a lot of fights then because I'd be like, I wouldn't
because you felt insecure in your financial state.
Yeah, and I didn't want to rely on him at all. And he was very, you know, he'd be like, I got dinner, and I'm like, no, I don't want you to say that because you know I'm upset. Like, I don't have money. Yeah, so that was hard when I lost my job like that.
And you can't. And so did he come into the relationship wanting kids in marriage or unsure? Like
unsure,
unsure, and you just want to, because that's interesting. That's always a very difficult thing for me too, to like, because I feel like especially younger people will make adjustments in their life, like around romance. And as like, you know, my boyfriend's a lot younger than me, and as the older party, I like to be like, I know you think it's a good idea to make these drastic changes for someone that you love, but I can tell you that it's not.
Yeah, because you're betraying yourself.
And I don't want you to regret this, you know. I mean, also men can have kids until they're fucking 80 years old. So I don't feel that bad.
They really can.
Yeah.
You could extract sperm from a dead guy, I bet, and get pregnant with it.
Wow.
Because I think so often we see as women making really, really drastic changes in their life that they didn't see being a part of their life for a guy. And I always think that's a terrible move that's going to blow up in your face. Even if it's, you know, even if it's 5-10 years later, it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have friends like that who I'm like, you see them from growing up and you're like, you didn't want this life.
Oh man. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and they're like, I'm so happy. I have 3 children.
Great.
I have a house and I have insurance. And I'm like, okay, I have none of those things. But like, I had a great night last night.
Yeah. I'm chilling.
Yeah, because you do have like a very happy, calm energy, and now knowing a little bit more about your life and the way you navigate it, it makes sense because you know what you want, you know the structure that you want, and you continue to be true to yourself, which is kind of like guaranteed recipe for success.
Content, yeah.
I've been selfish my whole life. Like I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and there was no question.
Yeah, nice.
I've never had like another plan, a fallback, this that.
That makes life a lot easier, honestly.
It
knowing what you want to do
does.
from a young age.
I mean, it's not. You know, I wish I chose any other path.
Right,
sometimes.
of course, we all do. This is not an easy one.
Right. I'm like, what if I could have been a doctor? What if I wanted to be a doctor? Like,
Isn't that, yeah.
Oh, man.
I used to lie to my parents and said I wanted to be a heart surgeon / scientist because I knew it would make them happy.
wow.
Didn't want that at all.
No, she was like, but Shakespeare's calling.
I'm
my
born for the
name.
stage, Mom. I don't understand. Where can we find you online, Anna? What would you, anything you like to promote? Website, anything?
Sure. You can find me everywhere online at Anna Roisman, ANNAROISMAN. And you can listen to my podcast, which might be taking a break, but it's called Unemployed with Anna Roisman. Both of you have done episodes. They are amazing.
Yes.
I literally remember very good details from both of your episodes.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
It was
doing
so fun. It was right before the world shut down.
Yeah.
And it was in not my boyfriend's apartment.
Yes. Yep. Now I know that. Thought it was your boyfriend.
That's so funny.
No. Yeah, you could find me there. And I'm really trying to become a TikToker. That's my new life goal.
Hell yeah.
So,
You do make really good TikToks. Oh, because guys, you should tune in. She does a really good Hilaria Baldwin impression.
you.
That got her blocked by Alec Baldwin.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Congrats.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Remember when he used to do Trump? He can't handle someone doing his wife.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, she's on a break from social media. So if you need any content, I am the only person doing her right now.
Nice.
She's not even around yet.
Wow. Incredible.
I think I scared her off.
I love it.
She'll be back.
This has been Guys We Fucked, the anti-slut shaming podcast. We'll talk to you next Friday. Bye. Okay.
Oh, that was really fun.
Thank you, Anna.
That was great. Oh man,
That's so funny.
such good stories.